Why the narcissist continues to fall apart. Think about that for a minute. Everyone, if you like the content, please like, subscribe, and share. So, the narcissist, they are continuing to fumble through life. They're continuing to fall apart. They're continuing to become unglued at the seams. They're continuing to not know which direction to go. And you see, the narcissist is full of uncertainty. They don't have direction on their own. They're using other people as fuel sources. They are using other people's abundance, their creativity, their ideas, their empathy, their love, their commitment and devotion to take them from one part of their life to the next part. The narcissist is loyal to nobody. They care about nobody. They will throw anybody under the bus once they get whatever they want, and they will shift directions in a heartbeat once they find something or they deem that there's a better source of supply out there. This is why, think about when you're in the relationship. How many times were your plans blown up? Maybe you had a great dinner reservation on a certain weekend night and you're excited and looking forward to going to it, and it took you a couple weeks to get the reservation. Or maybe you saved up for it and it was a big occasion for you. Well, when that time or that day came around to get ready to go to the dinner, did the narcissist attend that with you? Maybe they did, but they probably complained. Or they're probably on their phone triangulating you with complete strangers or your replacement. Or maybe they were flirting with the waiter or the waitress. Or maybe they made you late and you missed the reservation. Or maybe they ordered everything on the menu and you had to pay a month's salary for their overindulgence, although they never even ate a bite of that food. You see, you can't win when you're in the narcissistic relationship. Just when you thought you could figure them out and you thought that you could stay a step or two in front of them, they would shift directions. Why? Because this is what they like. This is what they need. They need uncertainty. They need unrest. They need to make sure that they're disrupting your energy, your attention, your time, your focus, your purpose, everything about you. That's why once you get the wisdom, you need to apply the wisdom, which means you go no contact, you block that person, delete them, remove them, and all flying monkeys and people associated with them. If not now, when? If you can't do it right now, I get it. Utilize gray rock, become dull, become boring, get off the radar of the narcissist. Do not overshare information with them. Do not break the silence. If you're still communicating with them, if you have to live with them, maybe you're still married in the same household, don't break the silence. Choke them out of what is known as supply. Now, again, I know it's not that easy, but you will have to figure out what to do and how to do it. And that's why I create videos every day. Because you see, why the narcissist continues to fall apart, it's because as soon as they get what they want, they use it, abuse it, manipulate it, take it for granted, and take advantage of it. And usually they think that that person, which was me and it was you, usually they think that that person's never going to heal. They'll never put themselves back together, and they will become a shell of themselves, and they'll be blaming themselves the rest of their life, and they'll be stuck in the narcissistic fog and leaving doors open to the narcissist so the narcissist can come back and pepper them with more abuse, or so the narcissist could come back and maybe leave a little avenue open, a little uncertainty there, so that person, which perhaps was you and it was me for a very brief period of time, will be holding on to a breadcrumb of what will never be. This is why you need to understand that it always falls apart with the narcissist. So let's fast forward to the new supply just for a moment. If you know who the new supply is, you know by now that their relationship is no better than yours was. Truth be told, it's probably worse. You may say, well, yeah, it actually is worse. Why would it be worse, Andrew? How do you know that? Well, you have to remember where all the toxicity is coming from. It's coming from the narcissist. These people are getting older. They're becoming more and more unhinged. They're becoming more and more unglued. They're falling apart at the seams more and more. They can't keep the masks on, plural masks, on the way they used to, because they're all becoming older and older. And the older the narcissist becomes, yes, you should know by now, they become the aging narcissist. The aging narcissist is not a pretty sight to see. Maybe the person you're considering is in their 20s. Maybe they're in their 30s. Maybe they're in their 40s or so. Whatever the age they are, they're getting worse because they are overplaying their hand. They're thinking they can always worm or wiggle or weasel their way out of all the circumstances they're in. And that part, the second part, them getting themselves out of wiggle themselves out of the spots, they usually can do that when they're younger, much easier. The older they get, the sloppier they get. The sloppier they get, the more moving parts they have to remove themselves from, or to blame shift, or to gaslight. This is why nobody, and I mean nobody, goes unscathed at the wrath of the narcissist. This is why once you get the wisdom, you need to go no contact and get away from them as fast as you can and as far away from them as you can. If you're still stuck in the narcissist's web of manipulation, meaning maybe you're still divorced, or you're still looking to get divorced or child custody, or you're still waiting for the lawyers to do what they need to do, I understand all that. You're going to have to be patient with yourself. You're going to have to really understand your energy is priceless. You're going to have to understand that the narcissist is beginning to show you who they really are and how little they care about you or cared about you. And you're going to understand that it's going to be a battle to get untethered from them, which is why the 4 ties that tethered you to the narcissist must be cut. And the 4 ties are the emotional, the financial, the physical, and the spiritual tie. These must be cut by you. You may think, well, the narcissist discarded me, and so all the ties are cut. Well, it's not that simple. Did you remove them from your social media? Or are you still peeking on their social media? You shouldn't be peeking on their social media. Are you still in communication with people that the narcissist knows, i.e. flying monkeys or people you had in common? You shouldn't be doing that either, because those people will be one day reporting back to the narcissist what you are doing, if you're asking about them, how you're looking, if your health's returning, and more and more. You see, the narcissist enlists enablers, flying monkeys, people subservient to them, people that are stuck in the narcissistic fog. They want to keep little groups, little groupies of people around them, those strange, peculiar people that you only saw for a period of time when you were in the relationship with them. Maybe you saw them once every year, or maybe you saw them twice a year for 2 years, then you never saw them again, or maybe you saw this little group of people for a weekend and then you never heard their names again. Why do you think those people exist? That's right, because they're as toxic as the narcissist. And what they were doing, most likely, the little groups, the little bubbles of people that you saw every once in a while, they were probably running away from wherever they were, whatever relationship they were manipulating, and they're going to a safe space, which is where? That's right, it was your house with the narcissist that you knew. This is why these people, i.e. the toxic people, the narcissist, they have these little safe havens, these little bubbles, these little places they can go to. They can all commingle, and they can all commiserate, and they all can share experiences and stories of other people, how other people have ruined their lives. And what do? When they do have these little get-togethers and little rendezvous, the strange rendezvous that are not exclusive to motels in the middle of the night, or parking lots at 2 a.m., or their parents' basement when they're downstairs playing Xbox on a spaghetti-stained t-shirt and a couch that hasn't been washed in 30 years. What do they all do? They compare stories, they compare notes, and they figure out what made one thing work for the other person. Maybe I can use that in my own arsenal. I'm acting like the narcissist. Of course I'm not. You see, the narcissist is always learning, and they had a insurmountable unfair advantage over you until you got the wisdom. Once you got the wisdom, then you realize, wait, this was never a level playing field. This person never loved me. They never cared about me. They actually just wanted to take everything from me and more. Well, yeah, now you're understanding. Toxicity has 2 feet. It's not just an oil drum with a skull and crossbones on it saying stay away, toxic waste or hazardous waste or whatever it is. Toxicity is all around you. It's always been around you. At the level of the person you're considering, probably not, but maybe. That's why you need to understand that it will always fall apart for the narcissist. And why it always falls apart? It's because the narcissist doesn't like commonplace. They don't like stability. They don't like the known. What they want to do is they want to trap people in that huge web of manipulation, that huge web of abuse. And they want to pepper those people intermittently with abuse and toxicity. And they want to drain as much from those people as they possibly can. And that's where you were for quite a long period of time. You were in the devaluation stage, and you were being pecked at, as in P-E-C-K, like a woodpecker pecks a hole in a tree to build a home, but you were being pecked at because you were food for the parasite. You were the host. The narcissist was the parasite, and they were taking away everything from you slowly, insidiously. And before you knew it, you became a shell of yourself. You lost your identity to them. You became an extension of them, and you didn't have anything left more to give. Remember that old book that came out years ago, 50 years ago or so? It was called The Giving Tree. Well, you should look it up. The Giving Tree is what I was. It's what you were. No longer are we the Giving Tree. Now we are people with boundaries. Now we are people with wisdom. Now we're people who trust our energy, trust our instincts and our intuition. We pay attention to red flags. We embrace green flags, and we understand that, yeah, it's always going to fall apart for the narcissist. It fell apart when we were in the relationship with them, and we were probably, well, I'll rephrase that, you were the best thing that ever happened to the narcissist. They'll never replace you, but what they will do is continue to try to replace you. And what they tried to do when they discarded you, if they did, is they blamed you, had you experience FOMO, fear of missing out, telling you that you would never amount to anything and that you would never find love again, or you would never ever you would be missing the best thing you ever had. Well, when you really unwind all those toxic words that were dumped into you, and they were definitely dumped into me, then you realize that it's coming from a place of disdain. It's coming from a place of ignorance. It's coming from a place of shame. It's coming from a place of anxiety. It's coming from a place of a person who is pitch black on the inside of themselves. They don't want anything other than to extinguish what I call beautiful, bright, shining lights. I am a beautiful, bright, shining light. So are you. You didn't realize it way back then. That's why you were an open book. You were giving to a fault. You probably were a people pleaser. You definitely had a high level of empathy. And above all, you did not have boundaries. You didn't realize that toxicity had two legs. Now you understand that. That's why you're learning more and more that the further you get away from that person, the stronger you get. The stronger you get, the weaker they get. The weaker they get, the more the clarity arrives in your mind. The more the clarity arrives in your mind, the more you realize that that relationship wasn't as bad as you thought it was. It was worse. That's why this is the relationship you need to heal from. Sidebar, pro tip for everyone out there. I repeat myself over and over in videos, depending on what time of year it is, what's going through my mind, and what new things I've discovered on the healing path. The reason I repeat myself is because eventually one of these sayings or expressions that I've coined over the years, it's going to click. And when it clicks with you, you will get light bulb moments. Light bulb moments are when you see things that you couldn't see before. See, the light is being turned on in you. The light has already been turned on in me. It was turned on in me 5 years ago. That's why I pay it forward each and every day by creating videos. But when you get light bulb moments, then you're starting to really become awakened and aware, educated and empowered. That's why I repeat myself with so many of the phrases I've coined over the years, because eventually one of these will click. When one clicks, that's another piece of the puzzle that you will put together by yourself, because I can't do it for you and nobody can. And then you have one less piece of the puzzle to put together. Eventually, will you ever put all of the pieces of the puzzle together? No, you won't. You will put as many of them together as needed for you specifically, because you will get to the point where you will give yourself closure. You will realize there are millions of pieces of the puzzle to be put back together. You will have the key pieces, the pieces that you needed to confirm that that person was toxic, maybe even narcissistic, and that you do need to go no contact, and they didn't love you, they didn't care about you, and that, yeah, their life is going to go sideways. If it hasn't already, it will, because it's gone sideways many, many times before you met that person, and you gave them the best thing they would ever have, but they crumbled that up like a sheet of paper, threw it away in the freeway, and they tried to replace you. Well, you can't be replaced. You are irreplaceable. So when you realize all those things, you will get to a point when you say, no, I've got it. I've got enough wisdom. I know what happened. I've seen thousands of hours of videos. I've journaled, I've meditated. I've seen a therapist who knows what they're talking about. I've healed childhood wounds. I've looked at myself from the inside, from the outside, up, down, left, right, center. I looked at myself when I was 5 years old, 10, 15, 20, all the way up until today, and I realized that I was targeted my whole life. Now, did you have the bullseye on your back your whole life? Probably not, but I can assure you there were many times the bullseye was on your back you didn't even know about, that you probably forgot, same as me. But once you realize that, then you get as much wisdom as you need to learn about narcissism and the person you're considering. Then you say, I'm good. I understand it. I know what it is. I know what they did, how they did it, why they did it. It's disgusting. It's abhorrent. It's absolutely toxic. It's from the pits of hell, but that's what that person did. And they did use me. They did abuse me. They did manipulate me, and they did their best to trap me in that narcissistic fog, the zombie-like trance-like state. And they wanted to keep me in the trauma bond as long as possible. But I cut the ties, and the rest is history. You will get to that point if you're not there yet. If you are there, you know what I'm talking about. Drop comments below. If you're not there yet, that means there's work to be done. Any way you look at it, it's good for you. It's not good for the narcissist. Now, again, I don't wish ill will upon anybody, and I'm not going to start now. I wish that narcissism didn't exist on the planet, but it does. And because it does, I am here. And because it does, you're here. So that's why you need to understand that going no contact and blocking the narcissist, it's not to harm them or hurt them. It's to protect you. That is called a boundary. When you put a boundary in place, you are saying yes to yourself. When you say yes to yourself, you're saying no to toxicity. Now, why I share all those things is you, in the relationship, when you're in it, you were giving to a fault. And then you would do virtually whatever that person wanted you to do. If they said jump, you would say how high. If they said, listen, I need $500 by next Friday, and you only had 50 bucks in your pocket, you would find a way to work or to borrow it to get that 450 bucks more, and you would hand it over to the narcissist, knowing in the back of your mind, you're not going to get paid back again. But why'd you do it? Because they tricked you, or they manipulated you, and they blamed you into doing it, and because they were using you as a person that they molded into doing things for them. This is why, and I shared it with you so many years ago, that's why when we are in these relationships without the wisdom, we become what I coined the unpaid helper. The unpaid helper who will do anything is the person who will do anything for their abuser. It's not a funny expression, it's true. Think about how many things you did to improve the person's life you're considering to the detriment of yourself. Another term I coined is the walking apology. That's when you're apologizing to the narcissist for anything that you did do or didn't do. Example, when they would give you the silent treatment, did you do anything wrong? I'm sure you didn't. They gave you the silent treatment because something went sideways in their life that day or over that weekend, and they needed someone to take it out on, which was you. See where I'm going with this? See what the theme is? This is why it all falls apart. Why it all falls apart for the narcissist. Because they can never just be. They can never appreciate what they have. They cannot live in the present moment. They need to live for the moment. And as soon as they believe or deem that something more important comes around, they will drop whatever they're doing and shift direction or pivot in the direction of whatever they think or deem is more important. And that's what happened with you. Remember, you were in the relationship probably thinking it will go on for the rest of your life, for the rest of time. Well, that's not reality. What reality was is once the narcissist took whatever they could from you, they usually would discard you or string you along, but they would blame you no matter what. They would try their best to keep you tethered to them so you wouldn't advance in life, and they would try their best to still compete with you, even though they never told you that. And they would mock you, laugh you, shame you, blame you. They would give you the smirk. They would use the smear campaign and do whatever they could to blow up your life, to destroy your life, if you will. Well, you didn't know these things. Now you do. Now when you realize that your life is improving, you're healing, you're ascending, you're accelerating, you are arriving at the mountaintop, the pinnacle of indifference. What's the narcissist doing? That's right. They're doing this. They're stuck in that loop of manipulation. They're stuck in the low vibrational quagmire state. They're stuck in that anxiety-riddled mind of theirs, and they can't escape it, and they know it. And have they ever actually tried to do the right thing? No, they didn't. You may think, oh no, they did. They gave it their best for a couple years there. It's the love bomb, people. It's the mask. It's what you wanted to see. It was making sure that you were going nowhere because they probably needed something from you. Example, you to put a roof over their head, you to raise their kids, you to pay their tuition through school, or you to see them through an illness or an ailment, or you to get them a job or whatever it was. But once they got what they wanted, then they said, oh, wow, look at this. This person's still around, and I already took whatever I could from them. What do I do now? Oh, I know what to do. I'll turn to page 49 of the book, and I'll try to finish them off. I'll insert the new supply, twist the knife in them, and I'll see how much more they have to give. Well, you only have so much to give, just like myself. Eventually, all of us, each and every one of us, reach the threshold. We reach the breaking point, or we have no more to give, which means our money goes to zero. Our health challenge appears. We lose our job. Our support system blows up. There's 1,000 things that go sideways when you're in these relationships, and there is not one good thing that takes place in your life. So before I close the video, understand something. Many times people post-relationship romanticize the relationship. They think, no, it was great. We were snuggling on Christmas Eve, and New Year's was the best, and we went sleigh riding, and for their birthday, we went to the Bahamas, and we had such a great 2 weeks. And for the graduation of somebody's kid, we went there, and it was a magical weekend up in the mountains. Well, think about a few things. One, how often did those things take place? Not that often. Number two, whose dime was it on? It was on yours. Number three, were you ignoring red flags, ignoring your instincts and not trusting yourself? Yes, you were. Number four, were you holding on and perhaps fantasizing or romanticizing, I should say, that time period you're considering was better than it was? Yeah, you were, because the truth of the matter is, once whatever event was that you attended with them, once that was over, the mask was off, and now they're looking for the next new thing, whatever it was, the next new person, whatever it was. They were just appeasing you, making it seem like they were in love with you when they know that they can't fall in love at all. And they were riding out you and your dime and your experiences and stealing your ideas and your energy and your attention and your purpose and all of your favorite places, your favorite foods, your favorite songs, everything you loved about you. They took it all from you. That's why this is the relationship you need to heal from. And before I close the video, you need to realize that why it always falls apart for the narcissist, it's because this is the life they live. They know how to destroy, not how to create. They know how to steal, not how to innovate. They know how to trap, not to be have common ground with people. The narcissist is a predator, and they're looking for anybody who will fall into the traps, plural, that they lay out. You fell into it, so did I. That's why once you get the wisdom, you need to get off the radar of these people as far as you possibly can and as fast as you can, because these people don't change. They only deteriorate and they only get worse over time. So everyone, that's the video. I hope you liked it. I loved doing it from the beautiful Carolinas. This is Andrew. Namaste. Have a great afternoon, evening, or morning. No matter where you are on the planet, you are not alone. I love you all, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Today is New Year's Day, or maybe it's the day after for some of you in a different part of the world. I believe the Western Hemisphere, Eastern, I'm not sure. Southern, Northern, wherever you are. But the point being is this: thank you for being here. I appreciate it. My hope is last year was a beautiful year of growth. This year will be the year of respect, the year of yourself, the year of honesty, the year of boundaries, and the year of cutting these people out of your life. Remember, when you cut them out of your life, you ascend, you elevate, and you change. There are 3 versions of you. The first version I explained in the past is who you were before you met the narcissist. The second version is who you were when you were trapped in the narcissistic abusive cycle. The third version is the liberated version, the version who has the wisdom, the version who now can read the tea leaves quite easily and who trusts their instincts and intuition and now knows that toxicity does have 2 legs and stays away from toxicity. So that's the video. I hope you liked it. I love doing it. I will talk to you tomorrow. Enjoy yourselves. It's not as cold here today as it was over the last few days, but wherever you are, I hope you're warm, you're safe, you're relaxing, and you're peaceful. And the narcissists, plural, are out of your life. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. I love you. Bye.